Okay.
Cool.
So I'm here with Savant, Matt Thibeau, Bruce Firestone, and one of the things I asked Matt is, does he know how to make the phone ring, or make your inbox, your email inbox, light up, or your instant messages or your text messages light up? And most marketing agencies that I've talked to over the years really struggle with that. They certainly understand how to create branding, give you a nice logo, maybe an interesting tagline, but actually making the phone ring is a little bit more difficult. And that's something that Matt specializes in, and he's going to give us a little demonstration of it. So Matt, over to you.
Hey, thanks a lot for the introduction, Bruce. So basically, what I'm going to walk you guys through is the 3-step momentum builder, what I call. And basically, this system is proven to generate 16 to 27 leads for our clients. So without further ado, I'm just going to step right in here. And as I go through this, Bruce, feel free to ask any questions just because I want you to be super clear on what it is.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Matt. And I'll certainly take advantage of that.
Cool. Awesome. So first things first, let's see this. First things first, what we do is step number 1 is defining your niche. So what we do is we start off by defining your niche and highlight what's called your unique selling proposition. So this is what's basically, any kind of warranty, any kind of guarantees. Basically what we do is we look at the market of what everyone's doing and we come up with a way of like, how can we make you stick out? How can we make you different than what people are doing? And how can we niche down on something that you're really good at and make that your thing in the market?
Yeah, I really believe in that. I teach business modeling, as you know, Matt, and one of the key things is you have to differentiate yourself. If you remember, you don't necessarily have to be first. Do you know what Google's rank was? Were they the first search engine, the second, the third, the fourth? Would you remember?
I think they were the first search engine.
No, you're a young person. I guess you might think that, but they were actually 10th.
Really?
Yeah. You wouldn't remember, but there was Netscape, there was Ask Jeeves, there was, of course, the Yahoo search engine. There were many, many others. There were about 9. And what made Google different, Matt, was this: trusted search results. So before Google came along, you could just buy, placement. So if somebody, was running a porn site, they could buy the search term breakfast cereal. And so you're searching for on the search engine, for breakfast cereal, and up comes, a purchase. And what Google did was they said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to bias the search results, or we're going to do our best to have unbiased search results. So the difference between what Google did and became one of the most valuable companies on the planet and what everybody else did was they just introduced a trusted algorithm. And if there was any advertising, obviously it was, differentiated from the main search results. So you knew exactly who was buying that particular search term, right? And so the 2 things about Google that I think stand out, at least in my mind, was they were a trusted algorithm. That was number 1. And number 2, they knew how to execute. Right? So having some kind of differentiated value it doesn't really matter if you're the first off the mark or even the second or third, or in Google's case, 10th, Matt. You can still be very successful as long as you can differentiate yourself. So I just wanted to add that to strengthen what you just said.
Hey, thanks a lot. And I did not know that about Google. That's crazy. That's really cool. Okay, so let's jump into step number 2. So step number 2 is creating a custom landing page. So Bruce, have you ever been to a website that's like impossible to navigate on mobile?
Well, now that you ask, I'm embarrassed to tell you, Matt, maybe I shouldn't admit this because this will be on YouTube unlisted, but still on YouTube. I'm embarrassed to admit that I have created many websites that are not only difficult to navigate on mobile, but just difficult to navigate whether you're accessing them through your computer or not. And the reason for that is I'm mainly an academic. I get accused of that all the time. I mean, I'm a real estate investment and business coach. I'm a real estate broker. I've done a lot of different things. But at my heart, at heart, as you know, I'm a teacher. I'm a professor. And so my websites just become bigger and bulkier and harder to navigate all the time. So I completely get the need for a landing page.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting because there are so many landing pages and websites out there, that people are going to, and they're like, I have no idea how to use this, or I don't know how to find what I'm looking for. It's not
Yeah,
easy.
absolutely.
And so what we do here is we build you what's called a custom landing page, which we nicknamed like a digital billboard. And basically what this is, it's a page that is designed specifically to generate leads. So it has super clean, straight to the point messaging with one call to action, which is contact us, whether that be through a phone call, filling out a form, or speaking through a chat box, which I'll get to in a minute. And on this landing page, what we do is we have an in-depth overview of the selected services, and we really highlight your unique selling proposition here. And then on top of that, on this landing page, we also have multiple customer testimonials with their pictures, and really getting that third-party endorsement of like why they should work with you. And then lastly, there's a 24/7 chat box on the page, and what that is on the bottom right, there's actually a chat box that integrates with Facebook, where if someone has a question, they can literally just go to this chat box, ask a question, and we'll be on the other end answering those questions 24/7. And a lot of people ask, well, how do you know like what to say? And what we do is we give our clients a questionnaire so they can answer some of the questions, so that when someone goes in there and asks something, we can answer the basic ones, and then anything that we can't answer, we'll just get the phone number from the lead and then just send it, text it, or whatever.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I know the founders of a service that will turn photographs into canvas prints. It's called Canvas Pop. Do you know Canvas Pop?
No, actually, no.
Canvas Pop was started by Adrian Salmanovic in Ottawa with a partner, and what they did was, it was a very simple business, Matt. They would allow you to upload even the worst Facebook photo you have. If you had a nice photograph of your girlfriend but it was a little bit blurry, whatever, you could upload it to Canvas Pop. They would use some image processing, then you would get to approve it, and they would print it on canvas, frame it, and send it to you. It's pretty simple business, and it really took off. It went from 0 to about 13 million in sales. Wow. In a very few years. I don't remember how many years, but maybe 3 years. They were at about 13 million US dollars a year in sales, and they had 2 locations for fulfillment. One was Ottawa, and the other was Las Vegas. Las Vegas, as you know, Matt, is mainly known as the town, for gambling, and shows, but it also has Nevada has a huge fulfillment industry, if you know what that is.
I'm not like, you mean fulfillment with
well, for example, Zappos.com, which is an online shoe store owned by Amazon, does its fulfillment from Nevada. So they would have large warehouses. Some of these warehouses are 1 and 2 and 3 million square feet, or as large as 5, 6, or 7 million square feet. That's pretty big. And from Nevada, with aircraft, and trucks, you could get pretty much anywhere. So it's a big fulfillment center. And one of the things that Canvas Pop found is that the moment they put a chatbot on their website, their conversion rate went way up.
Wow, I'm not surprised, honestly.
Yeah, I think it was about a 30% increase in conversions, and it might have been more than that, but I know it wasn't less than 30%. Adrian mentioned that to me. So having a chat box, which gets answered by human beings. I think you told
human being, exactly.
Can you just expand on that a little bit?
Oh yeah, so that's super important. So something that was funny that we found actually working with our clients is the moment that we made it very clear on the chat box that this is a live person and not just a bot, we saw a really big increase in the conversions. I don't know the exact number, but it was very clear that just by saying this is a live person, it was so fascinating. So just to be clear, it is live. Yeah.
With Canvas Pop, they had live people, real people. I don't think they identified it as a real person, but they were real people who were answering rather than a bot, and it really was a significant improvement to their business model. And I don't have to tell you, when you get 30% more conversions from your leads, that's a big increase in sales.
Absolutely.
All right, keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So we'll bring you to the last step last but not least. So step number 3 is Google advertising and management. So this is our main source of how we connect ready to buy prospects to your business. So what we start off with doing is we set up and manage your Google Analytics so you can understand more about the web visitors behavior on this page that we create. And then also what we do is we create and manage your Google ads so you can be certain you're one of the top 5 results on Google for your industry keywords. And during this time, what we do is we'll continue to research and refine the most profitable keywords for you so your ad continues to become more and more effective. And what this means is there is a trick that we use called a negative word list. And basically what we
That's
do,
cool.
yeah, and what we do here, I was explaining to you a little earlier, is this negative word list, we put in words like cheap, affordable, or DIY, all these words that aren't profitable keywords. And so what we do is we're qualifying our traffic to this ad so that you aren't wasting any of your money on bad keywords or bad leads or people who are looking for the cheapest possible service.
All right.
And so using this,
it makes sense to me, like if you're trying to be the cheapest, coach or the cheapest real estate broker, the cheapest consultant, or, I mentioned that Rebecca Swedlove is opening up aquatots in Ottawa where they teach children how to swim. To sign up your kid for a year is probably about $1,000, so it's a pretty significant investment. And if you're looking for the cheapest solution, you just throw your kid in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
But that probably, that's probably a pretty terrifying result. I had trouble, Matt, when I was a kid learning how to swim, and my parents there was no aquatots back then. That's a long time ago. And so my parents were concerned I'd never learn how to swim. My brother and my sisters all were very good swimmers, and I was terrible. So you know what they did? They took me down to Cape Cod one summer, and they put me in the salty water, which of course has more buoyancy. And that's how I learned to swim around 7 or 8 years of age, long after my sisters and my brother had learned to swim. So I was pretty dense, and I just could kind of sink, but in the salt water. But, if you think about it, somebody like Rebecca who's starting a new business in Ottawa, there's about 100 of these franchises in the United States and in Canada, but none in Ottawa yet. She'll be the first. To teach children how to swim is great, but you've got to get the word out there. And if you go to most marketing agencies, as you and I have talked about in the past, they'll give her a very nice logo. Like I said off the top, they'll give her a nice tagline if she doesn't already have one. Maybe they'll create a nice looking website, but they can't make the phone ring or, like I said, the email inbox or the chat box, light up. And I think that's kind of what you do, right?
Absolutely. That's what you're talking about is called direct response marketing, and that's what I specialize in. I'm not a brander. I specialize in getting people to do an action, which is pick up the phone, buy something, anything like that.
I'm so blown away by this because, I say in business modeling, and that's kind of one of the fundamental subjects I teach, is that if you have, I don't care how great your business is, you could have the best idea, Matt, you've ever had for the best business maybe ever created. But if you tell me that you have to, buy a Super Bowl commercial before you find your first client, for almost every startup, that's just not viable, right? It's $5 or $5.5 million US for a 30-second Super Bowl commercial. And I think you told me you're not even sure those work.
I'm not sure. Maybe just for branding.
Yeah, for branding, I suspect that they work. But if you're Aquatots Ottawa, a $5.5 million, and I'll be honest with you too. One of the reasons why I reached out to you, and again, thank you for doing this, it is that if I were to take $10,000 of my money and put it into Facebook advertising or Instagram advertising or Twitter advertising or Google ads, I might as well take that same $10,000 on a cold day like today, put it in my wood stove and light it on fire, because I'll get more value out of it. I could easily spend $10,000 trying to advertise something I'm doing, real estate brokerage, coaching, whatever, and I just don't have the information I need to be a really good Facebook ad guy or Google ad guy.
Yeah.
And that's where you come in. And you were going to tell me a little bit about what is the introductory price that, for this this process that you've just shown us.
I was, yeah. So before I get into the price, what I really want to do is I want to show you first, because you asked, like, Matt, why, like, I could put 10,000 of my dollars in and not get the results. So why
No.
do you get the results? And I want to show you guys some of the
Sure.
results that I've gotten for my clients.
Okay.
So here's a landscaper who got 26 solid leads in only his first 30 days working with us. So you'll see at the top there, it says 26 conversions circled. That means that 26 prospects either gave him a call or filled out a form for a quote. So just imagine, like, your landscaper, you get 26 qualified leads. These are not like people just random. These are qualified leads who submitted a form or called. What would that do for your business if they were like, if you were able to close even 5 of those leads?
Yeah, well, for somebody like me on the coaching thing that I do, if I talk to 10 people about coaching, I probably will end up with 4 or 5. Sometimes if I'm on a good run, 6 out of 10. But probably the long-term average is probably 4 out of 10. And, I'm a good talker, Matt. I'm a good salesperson. But, I probably have a 30-year batting average of around 400 when I'm selling stuff. And so if you got 26 leads, whether it's coaching or landscaping, and he or she, they, converted, at a 400 batting average, that would be 10 new clients. And landscaping, could be a $10,000 thing, but it could easily be, $50,000. So exactly. 10 $50,000 leads is a lot of sales.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also here's a home renovator who got an incredible 40 leads in his first 30 days after working with us. So again, that's 40 ready to buy prospects who called him up or submitted an estimate in only 1 month. Like, wow. That is not normal for marketers. Usually when you work with a marketer, they're like, it takes about 6 or 12 months to start seeing results. This is in the 30 days. So we're not even like, this is without even, lots of data to do testing and all this stuff.
Yeah, so I'm looking, hang on a second. I'm looking, don't remove this slide. Yeah. I'm looking at $10.43 per lead. So that's just slightly under the cost of a Super Bowl ad. $5.5 billion US. Maybe you don't get any leads if you're a home renovator in Ottawa Gatineau, or you pay $10.43. So so it just goes back to what I was saying, that unless we can find a way to make our phone ring and connect with our customers and our clients in a cost-effective way, your business is doomed.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like, not a lot of businesses can afford to do lots of crazy expensive marketing for a year until you see some results.
Right.
Cool. Yeah. And then I want to share the stat with you. So here's a stat that I'm super proud to show you. In 2018, the CEO of WordStream, which is a global advertising authority, he announced that a whopping 75% of online landing pages have a conversion of only 2.35%. So I know that's a lot of numbers, but what that means is 2.35% of web visitors are converting into leads. However, the top 25% of landing pages are converting at 5.31% or higher. So we're super proud to say that our landing pages are doing 7.34% of all web visitors into leads. So that's 4.99% better than the industry average. So bottom line, what this means, I know it's a lot of numbers. Savant Marketing Agency, which is my company, we deliver a service that's above the industry standard. And according to WordStream, we're a top performer by far by some of the most respected online advertisers. So the reason I say that is just because a lot of people who come to me, they're like, how can I be certain I'm working with someone who knows what they're doing? I just hope this is kind of like gives some reassurance from an outside source. Any questions about that?
No, I'm really impressed. I don't know if I mentioned it to you when we first spoke, Matt, but I used to be involved with a company called Rental-X Tool and Equipment. So they would rent, tools and equipment to the construction industry. And we did, this is a long time ago now, back in the 80s, and we used to do some very simple marketing. We would send out our price list twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. And so we would print up a few 100,000 of these really nice brochures, which would show all of the different machines and tools that were available in the stores, and what they cost to rent for a weekend or half a day or whatever. And the more we sent that out, the higher the return got. So if we send out, 150,000 of these door to door to residential and commercial addresses, we would get some kind of response. Obviously, people would come into these stores, they'd be carrying these price lists, and they'd be saying, and they would have a call to action in them. Back in the day, would be like a coupon, 25% off your first tool rental or something like that. So it was pretty effective, and the more we did it, the more effective it became. So we did it every year. First year, our response rate was about 0.75%, so about 0.75%, so pretty low. And then in the fall, we found that somebody who had got the price list from us in the spring and had just thrown it out said, "Oh, gee, I really need a tool. I need a sander, right? And where is that brochure? I threw it out." So the second time they would keep it. And so the second time our response rate went up to about 1.25%. And it eventually, stabilized at around 4 to 5%. Which was very good. So back in the day, if you were using Canada Post or U.S. Postal Service to distribute, your door hangers, your postcards, whatever, your brochures, your price list, a typical response rate was 1%. If you could get to 4 or 5, which Renelex did eventually, that was considered very good. So by comparison, 7.34% looks really positive.
Thank you. Yeah, we definitely put a lot of effort and time, I was explaining to you before, in our landing pages, so appreciate that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into the investment now. So when I spoke to you before, Bruce, you kind of twisted my arm a bit. You were saying, I want to have introduce this program at an introductory price specifically for your circle. So I've made it super, super awesome offer for you guys, and I want to walk it through. So basically, for the 3-step momentum builder, the 3-step method, so you're going to get, I'm going to sit down with you, help you with your niche. Then I'm going to set up the landing page, and we're going to run the Google ads to it. I've set this up for you so that it's super risk-free. You guys can cancel anytime within 30 days. So there's no super long-term contract, anything like that. It's an all-inclusive price. So it's super clear pricing. You're getting, it's all just one price in a month, and it's super simple, easy to understand. So in a month, all you're going to pay, included everything for it, is just $797 all included. That's your monthly investment, no long-term contract, cancel anything.
Does it include HST or HST on top of that?
It does include HST. Yeah. It does.
Sorry, it does or doesn't?
This is including just the ad spend, so it'll be HST on top of that.
Yeah, I think that's right. And for anybody who's watching this, if you are running a business, I run a coaching practice and a realtor practice. So if I were to hire Matt, I would pay $797 plus HST. And I'm in Ontario, that's 13%. So 13% on $797. Hang on a second, Matt. I'll figure it out. Yeah, just give me a second. So just so everybody knows, you'd have to budget another $103.61 in HST. Having said that, though, for those of you who know anything about HST, HST is actually an excellent tax for businesses because that $103.61 becomes an input tax credit, and you can get that back when you file your HST. And if you have any costs, you go out and buy a big stack of paper for your printer, and you pay $10 for that, and you pay $1.30 in HST. That $1.30 you would normally have to say can be deducted against the HST that you paid. So you actually get some or all of your HST back if you file your HST, and as long as you're under $30,000, which is a very small business, you don't have to file HST, but over $30,000, you do. HST is a profit center for your business, and you will get the HST back. So do it properly, okay?
Cool, awesome. Thanks for that tidbit, actually. Cool. So, this is the offer that I have for you guys. I'd love to have a conversation with you and see if it's right for you. If so, I'm sure Bruce will refer you over to me, and we can have a discussion.
So Matt, just because we're recording this for YouTube Unlisted, can you just tell people how they could get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So you can send me an email. My email is matt@mattthibeau.com. Or you could give me a call at 613-619-5319. Or you can go to our website, www.savantmarketingagency.com.
So one more time, if you don't mind, the phone number?
613-619-5319, or go to our website, savantmarketingagency.com.
And just so everybody knows, Thibeau is spelled Thibeau.
Correct.
So the email address last time?
matt@mattthibeau.com.
All right, and Matt's with 2 T's. So Matt, I'm gonna stop recording now, and I'll upload this to YouTube so people can see it. And I can't thank you enough for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me.